At one point during this experiment, my $1,000 dropped below $900, and I almost sold everything. But I didn't. And 12 months later, that same $1,000 ended up here. This video is the full story. Every mistake, every bad decision, every panic moment, and the one boring investment that quietly outperformed almost everything else. Because 1 year ago, I knew almost nothing about investing. And this experiment completely changed how I think about money. A year ago, my money was sitting in a bank account doing basically nothing. And every month I kept seeing the same advice online. Invest your money. Make your money work for you. Start early. But nobody really explains what happens emotionally when it's your money going up and down every day. So I decided to test it myself. I took $1,000 of my own savings and gave myself one goal. Can a completely normal person grow their money in 1 year without being a finance expert? Not with crazy risk. Not with fake internet guru strategies. Just basic investing and real decisions. And what happened over the next 12 months honestly surprised me. Before investing anything, I made one rule. Do not put all the money into one thing. So I split the $1,000 into 4 parts. 40% into index funds. This was the boring part of the portfolio. No exciting stock picks. No chasing trends. Just simple funds tracking the overall market. At the time, this felt like the least interesting decision I made. Ironically, it became the smartest one. 30% into individual stocks. These were companies I actually understood, brands I used, businesses I researched for weeks before buying. This was also the part of the portfolio I became emotionally attached to very quickly. Every morning, open app, check numbers, repeat. 20% into crypto. This was the risky section. I told myself, keep it small, keep it controlled. That sounded smart at the time. A few months later, this section would become the most stressful part of the entire experiment. 10% into a money market fund. Basically the safe zone. Low risk, low return, just there to balance everything else out. And with that, the experiment officially started. 3 months in, something happened that completely changed my confidence. One of my stocks jumped almost 23% in less than a week after a huge product announcement. I still remember where I was when I saw it. I was standing in line waiting for coffee, opened my investing app, looked at the numbers, and genuinely thought the app was glitching. That single stock added around $60 to my portfolio almost overnight. And for the first time I thought, wait, this might actually work. But the dangerous part about early wins is they make you feel smarter than you really are. And a few months later, the market humbled me very quickly. Month 5 was brutal. The market started falling. Crypto dropped hard. Every time I opened the app, the numbers looked worse. Then one night, my portfolio dropped below $900. That was the moment this stopped feeling like a fun experiment. I remember staring at the screen thinking, maybe I should just sell everything before this gets worse. And this is the part nobody talks about with investing. The hardest part is not picking investments. The hardest part is controlling yourself. Because when prices fall, your brain starts convincing you that losing more money is guaranteed. For 2 straight days, I seriously considered selling everything. But instead, I forced myself to go back and read why I bought each investment in the first place. And the strange thing was, nothing had actually changed. The businesses were still solid. The index funds were still diversified. Only the prices had changed. So instead of panic selling, I held. That decision ended up changing the entire outcome of this experiment. Then came my biggest mistake of the year. By month 7, my portfolio had mostly recovered. And that recovery made me overconfident. I started thinking, maybe I'm actually good at this. Which is exactly the moment investing becomes dangerous. One day, I saw a stock exploding all over social media. Everyone was talking about it. Everyone claimed it was the next big thing. And instead of researching it properly, I bought it based purely on hype. Within 3 weeks, that stock dropped 18%. I lost around $45 for absolutely no good reason. And honestly, the money wasn't even the worst part. The worst part was realizing I broke my own rules. No research, no patience, just emotion. That mistake taught me something important. Social media creates urgency. Real investing requires patience. Around month 10, I noticed something strange. The investment I spent the least time thinking about was quietly outperforming almost everything else. The index funds, while I was stressing over stocks, watching crypto swing wildly, and checking my portfolio 5 times a day. The boring investment just kept growing steadily in the background. No drama, no stress, no emotional roller coaster. Just slow, consistent growth. And that completely changed how I think about investing. Because before this experiment, I thought successful investing was about finding hidden opportunities. Now I think successful investing is mostly about avoiding bad decisions long enough for time to help you. All right, after 12 months, after all the stress, all the mistakes, all the second guessing, here's where the portfolio ended. 183, an 18.3% return in 1 year. Now no, that is not life-changing money. But that's exactly why this matters. Because this result feels real. If this video ended with, I turned $1,000 into $50,000, you probably wouldn't trust anything I said. But this is what normal investing actually looks like. Slow progress, some mistakes, some good decisions, a lot of patience. And when I compared it to leaving the same money in a savings account, the difference surprised me. A normal savings account would have made around $45 to $50 in that same year. This portfolio made $183, almost 4 times more. And honestly, the biggest gain wasn't the money. It was finally understanding that investing is not something reserved for rich people or financial experts. Regular people can learn this too. After 1 year of investing, these are the 3 lessons that mattered most. Lesson 1. Boring usually wins. The safest, least exciting part of my portfolio consistently performed the best. Not the hype stocks, not crypto, not social media trends, the boring index funds. That shocked me. Lesson 2. Emotions destroy returns. The moments I made emotional decisions, I lost money. The moments I stayed patient, things improved. Investing is less about intelligence and more about emotional control. Lesson 3. Start before you feel ready. I spent way too long thinking I needed to learn everything before starting. But the truth is, you learn faster with real experience than endless research. Even investing a small amount teaches you things no video or article can. So what happens now? I'm continuing. But year 2 looks completely different. Less chasing trends. More long-term investing, more index funds, less emotional decision-making. And there's one investment category I completely ignored this year that I'm adding next. That's what the next video is about. But if I had to restart from zero today with $1,000, here's exactly what I'd do. Put most of it into index funds immediately. Pick only 1 or 2 researched companies. Keep a small amount for learning and experimenting. And stop checking the portfolio every 5 minutes, because that habit alone probably caused half my stress this year. If this video helped you think differently about investing, hit the like button so more people can find it. And subscribe if you want to follow year 2 of this experiment. Real money, real results, real mistakes. The next video on screen right now shows exactly how I picked my index funds as a beginner. I'll see you there.